G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We are here on the brand new patch taking a look at civilizations, two civilizations that have received big changes in the most recent patch. Let's introduce our players for today. In the west of the map, in the color teal, playing as the Byzantines, we've got Wham01. And on the east side of the map, in the color green, playing as the Ottomans, it is Corvinus1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a casted game. We're here on Dry Arabia witnessing two of the world's first players. We've got Wham01, we've got Corvinus1, or also known as Detectivus1 at the moment. He changes his name about once a day, we'll say that much. And they are about to go mono-e-mono in what might be the greatest game you will see today. It could be the greatest game that we see this year. You don't know. You never know it until you show it. So anyway, let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about this matchup and about what we can expect this game. So of course, the flavor of the week, the flavor of the day. Oh, you hate to see it, don't you? Two sheep on the outside of the map that don't get spotted by Corvinus. You hate to see that, man. Two sheep. That's massive. 500 food. So what do we expect to see? I'm expecting Fast Imperial. You know it, I know it, we want to see it. Corvinus has been, we've already seen him do it in one game. The question is going to be, does he do it in this game? I reckon he probably will, because he's playing the Ottomans, and they've just been buffed. And you might be sitting there wondering how the heck did the Ottomans get buffed? Well, the Ottomans got buffed in a number of ways. Their landmark, their, not the Twin Minaret Madrasa, the other one, the Sultanate trade network, got a huge buff. So that's the first point. Second point is that Springalds and Culverin have been nerfed. So basically their power out of the gate got nerfed. They're better if the fight goes for longer. However, in really short engagements, quick bursts, not as strong. Why is that a buff to the Ottomans, you might be wondering? Well, you may say hello to my little friend, the Great Bombard. That is why, because that bad boy, well, let's just put it this way. He absolutely fucks. Anyway, let's check in with Wham. Let's talk about some of the changes that you'll see from the Byzantines. If you're a Byzantine main or a Byzantine enjoyer, I know that there's plenty of you out there. He's going to find himself plenty of sheep. Have a look at that. He finds himself a jackpot down here over towards that east side of the map. So he's going to be going up with the Grand Winery, which has also received a buff. So two civilizations with double buffs on their landmarks. Buffs elsewhere as well. So the Grand Winery now not only acts as a mill, it always acted as a mill, but you actually get the mill upgrades in it now, which is really nice, really good quality of life change that the devs have made there for the Byzantines. And it means going for the Grand Winery is actually really attractive now, because no longer do you have to spend that 50 wood on a mill, put it on down on the other side of the berries, and you know, it's what, 20 seconds to build a mill, so it's probably effectively like 75 wood when you think about it in that regard. Yeah, it's a nice little change that they made. They've also changed the cistern as well. So the cistern now gets, so the way that it used to work is that you had a bonus every 5, or every, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cisterns, and that was 5, 10, 15, 20, 25%. And they basically changed it so that it starts at 10% and then it finishes off, I think it's at 26%. So it's like 10%, then 14, then 18, then 22, then 26%. So the big buff is in that first level of cistern. And that's the level that you're going to be seeing every single game at the very beginning. It used to be the case that we would go for that double cistern opening to get that 10% bonus, but we don't need to do that anymore. We just get it for free out of this first level cistern. So I think that this is definitely going to be the way that the meta trends. I think that you're only ever going to see Byzantine players go for a single cistern, and I do think it's probably going to be a 2TC meta that we're going to see for this civilization. Players seem to be pretty comfortable with the Byzantines at the moment, pretty comfortable with going for that second TC, so I would not be surprised to see Wham doing that this game as well. As you can see, he's got plenty of villagers on the stone. In fact, he's got enough stone right now that he can actually just drop the TC, because you've got to remember that you have that stone from your buildings being constructed. So as an example, you get 8 stone from your house, you get 32 stone from the Grand Winery. And I think a lot of openings fail to consider that. Of course, if you're just thinking about going for a second cistern out here on this additional gather point, then by all means do it. And with the amount of villagers that he's got marching over there, you'd bloody well think that he is going to be doing that. Pretty late on the age up though. Have a look at this. This town center could have been down like 20 seconds ago. What's going on here? Look at all the vills just chilling out on gold right now. Age up is finally going to come through. There we go. There she blows. And of course that second TC, I'm expecting it's going to come down here. He's got the gold patch, which is very, very nice. Well, normally you like to go on the deer, but of course, over towards the enemy side, you've got to be a bit careful, especially against the Ottomans. And that's part of the reason why he's brought so many villagers out here, because you never know where those Ottoman spears will be lurking in the early game. Now, Wham is also scouting out his opponent, spots out the gold at the moment. We can see there's only the 3 villagers on gold, but I think this is something that you've got to be careful of, because I don't think you can be really judging an Ottoman player by their gold vills anymore. And that's mainly just because of the Sultanate trade network. We do see he's already got the Sultanate trade network. There's a lot of villagers on wood. I think he might be thinking about adding in a couple more traders potentially, maybe looking for a military school or 2. In fact, let's double check with him and see how he's doing, as that second military school is indeed coming up now. Blacksmith also going to be going down on the back. Sipahi already coming out for him. Just a handful of units at the moment, not too much. He's actually herding his deer in at the moment. That's what's going on. I was wondering what's the go here. What's happening over here? You can see the scout trying to come through and interrupt, but I think Corvinus knows that he's been caught, and I like this play. Isn't this so smart? I know all you guys that are watching right now are going to be like, that is so smart. The first game that we watched Corvinus play, where he went for the deer, he was very quickly interrupted on the deer by his Abbasid opponent. Now, today he's up against Wham. For anybody who doesn't know Wham, Wham is a very good player. Definitely in my top 10, I'll say that much. Probably not in my top 5, because realistically, top 5 is basically just reserved for, like, the tournament winners. It's very difficult to get into the top 5, even though sometimes the top 5 is a little bit flexible. There's not always 5 in the top 5. Yeah, definitely in the top 10, though. We can say that much. He's a very good player. I think at the moment on the ladder, he sits at like maybe rank 5 and rank 6. 2 accounts in the top 10. He's got Wham 01 and he's got Opa, which is also in the top 10. So really, obviously, very good player. The last game that we watched from Corvinus, he played against a player who was also Conqueror 3, but not as good as Wham. So I'm curious to see how Wham goes about playing this game, how he goes about dealing with what Corvinus is going to be putting down. Because I tell you what, this is definitely going to be Exhibit B for the Ottomans and just their overall strength. I'm very excited to witness what Corvinus is going to have in store for us today. And you can see that he is indeed throwing down plenty of traders. He's looking to add those boys up. He's up to they're on 30 seconds at the moment for each one. 5 in there. We'll be working towards that 6th one. And now a couple of spears making their way towards the enemy base. We can see that level 2 cistern is now through for Wham as well. And he's added in a whole little military outpost out towards this cistern. And I'm loving it. Bit of a wall coming in as well. Not too bad. I like it. And we've got some villagers. Has he popped the Akratoid defenses? It does look like he has. Look at the amount of buffs that we've got on these worker right now. We've got Akratoid defenses. We've got olive harvest. We've got synergistic crops. We've got olive harvest again. Is that twice? And we've got field stones. You're collecting buffs right now at this point. I feel like we're watching him play a bard or something. But fortunately, it looks like those villagers will come back. You can see he's managing to get under the outpost. That armor has now dropped off. Looks like the scout did go down to a Sipahi on the back, but to be honest, you're never really going to survive against the Sipahi. So we've got the two town centers. That's very Australian, very like from Adelaide. Town centers. I was going to say we've got the 2 town centers. The 2 town center play up against the fast castle coming through for Corvinus. No real surprise here. Expect to see Imperial Age around the corner for him as well. The main question is going to be food. At the moment, it looks like, has he gone for imams? He has gone for imams, so it is going to be just 2 relics picked up. As long as he can escape with them, we can see that this imam is moving towards the safe relic. Definitely the right call here. How much of the map is he? Yeah, so there's 2 relics down to the south. He hasn't actually spotted out just yet. And the forces are starting to build for Wham. Obviously, you start off with 2 town centers. You're going to be a bit slow out of the gates. But 9 minutes, you're getting pretty late into the game at 9 minutes. This town center came down at, what, 4 minutes 45, somewhere around that region. So he's had this TC for a while. Village account starting to build for Wham as well. Castle Age is online for Corvinus. It's in the influence, the MIA in the influence of the blacksmith, which means 2 minutes until our first mangonel. So don't expect things to go particularly well for Wham early on in this game. But have a look at this. A little bit of a push coming in. Looks like Corvinus might get spotted out with that relic towards the top side. Corvinus may lose a villager or 2 here. Wham going to be doing the right thing, walking right up to the villagers and then attacking. 1 villager going to be going down for sure. Second one probably going to get picked off if he gets the click. He does. Third one, does it go? Does it go? Oh, he misses it. He misses that third villager. But 2 is not too bad this early on. But remember, we've seen many games where the Ottomans are happy to throw away a villager or 2. Sipahi come through from that stealth forest. He's got 3 of them out at the moment, but the Lament are here, and they just absolutely rip apart. But you can see he's doing a really good job of focusing down those longbows. Very, very nicely done. Didn't pop the Fortitude. And behind this, he's already clicking up to the Castle Age. Really quick response coming out from Wham already. Remember that the key that he's going to be looking for here is a Springald. He needs a Springald. A single Springald is what he needs here, just because that Mangonel is going to be imminent. If he wants to put pressure on, because the reality is he needs to put pressure on the Ottoman player because he wants to stop him from going castle. He needs to look for those berries. The berries in the back of the base are going to be a key factor for him here. He's already done a pretty good job of pushing off the front, but for the most part, these units have fallen back towards their base. Looks like going to be looking to defend the relics in the south. No, not going to go for it. I think that's a bit of a waste. I think in this situation, you probably almost certainly want to be going for those relics. So just getting out a couple of units is exactly all you need. Just 2 or 3. Lament Knight could be what it takes to secure that position. Now, has Corvinus spotted this? It looks like the scout did indeed come out. He has spotted this relic, so he'll be looking to pick it up, but I think it's only going to be a matter of time. Second relic. That's only the second relic? Jeez, that took a... You took the scenic route to come home, didn't you, blood? Jesus. Jeez Louise. All right, he's coming in. You can see he's got the angle. He knows that something might be up, and indeed, Wham. Looks like Wham is going to come in with pixel perfect timing. Have a look at this. Another sheep down here. Is that... How many sheep? 2 sheep here. A sheep here. Lament and I. Wallolol, they've got that extra little bit of movement speed. No, not today. Not today. And Corvinus, unfortunately, throws away an Imam. He could just drop the relic and go make a run for it, but, I mean, you're up against Lament and I. They're just... They like rabbits. They like to run. I'm thinking of about that song. Run, rabbit, run, run, run. Just doesn't work with imams. It doesn't roll off the tongue the same way. Run, imam. It does kind of roll. Do we do it? We do it. Run, imam, run, run. Now try and fit Lametanai in the next sentence. Don't give Lametanai his fun. We're gonna do it. You know we gotta do it. All right. Let's check in with Wham and see how he's doing. Level 3 system is up. It's online. Don't be confused with the aqueduct. It is not a wall. It's not part of the wall network. And don't be confused with the wall. It's not part of the aqueduct network. This much can be said. Monk is now coming out here looking to secure some of these relics. He's got to be careful not to trigger that warning over the top of the sacred site, though, because if this happens, you can expect that Corvinus might look to react. In fact, maybe he doesn't. He doesn't have enough units. He's got a single Sipahi. It gets spotted out. He knows he's losing that relic in the south now. Where does he go from here, though? Doesn't even look like he's going to make a move for it. You know what? 2 relics ain't bad. Third relic coming in safely around the back of the base ain't too bad either. Istanbul Observatory is on the way before the 13-minute mark. Not quite, but it's still pretty damn good. That Mangonel's out. And remember, this Mango is just going to be keeping him safe. Until that Springald arrives, he is going to be absolutely fine. And you can see that at this stage of the game, you know, Wham is just chilling in his base. He knows that... You know, I can't really put on too much pressure. And I think this is what makes the Ottoman Fast Imperials so powerful, is they've just got everything that they need to say no. They are like the computer. The computer is always saying no. Computer says no. Man, we're getting some good memes in today. How good was that? What was that called? Little Britain. Did you guys ever watch Little Britain? Wasn't that just great? Wasn't that just wonderful? That was a funny show. I'm the only gay in the village. Yeah. That was a classic. Before its time, that's for sure. Anyway, looks like it's going to be 1 relic with the second relic down here for Wham. So 2 relics in total for him against 3 relics of the Ottomans. So not a huge relic difference between them. But I think the one thing going for Corvinus right now is this bad boy right here. Look at this. Just a powerhouse of gold coming out right now. This is kind of crazy. 336 gold a minute. And it just feels kind of free. You know what I mean? Like... You make the traders, and of course you have to pay for them, but it feels free. Anyway, mangoes fall a little bit short. Sorry, villagers, your house that you love, that you built, that you lived in and raised families in, has now been shelled by the friendly mangonels. But the mangoes have got a nice little concave. Honestly, leave the vills in here, bring the mangoes in here, and just laugh at your opponent as they try and take you out. And you've just got just lovely little mangoes in here. And once again, mangoes fire off, go a little bit wide. Still no Springald out just yet for Wham. Expect to be seeing, there's the first of the Springalds on the way up. Looking to come through. It's going to take some time before those... Looks like we missed a pretty decent shot right there from the Mango. The second round was going to come off here, and you can see he's got the scout parked out. Needs to get this Springald out, but wait. That's the second Springald. He's already got one ready to go. Now, one thing to note, one of the big changes that happen in this patch is that instead of it being 2 shots to kill a Mangonel, it's now 3 shots to kill a Mangonel from a Springald. And that gives a significant advantage to the Ottomans here. You might not think it does. Let me explain. Oh, my Mangonels. Let me explain. Now I've got a little bit more forgiveness with my Mangonels. You're going to come in for 1 shot. Okay, great. You've got a second shot that you need to do, and then you've got a third shot that you need to do. I have got so much time to be forgiven. Look at this. I've got a villager just chilling here on repair. I'm having an absolute fun time. Now he's going to pull more vills, and you can see once there's repairs coming through, and now they're going to come in. He's got the double Mango, but look at this. The time. The Mango lives. The Mango survives. The Mango thrives in its native habitat. Look at this. The village... Oh, Relic, what have you done? You poor little Springalds have to head back to the drawing board. And, you know, you're just going to go back to the drawing board and be like, what if we added a third Springald? And it's like, yes, that's actually, that's the correct answer. Because 3 Springalds, you can't repair through 3 Springalds because the 3 Springalds will one-shot you. But we now start to see it's going to be elite men-at-arms coming in now. 15 crossbowmen out for Wham at this stage of the game. He's going to have to fall back. First of the great bombards are out, and remember, it's got the range advantage. We're going to head into the cinematic mode as it's time to get down to business. Ain't no time to play around. What is this? Mangonel looking, looming. Mango. Big shot from the bombard as well. Corvinus on the defense. It's looking really good. How good is this strategy? I can't believe it, man. How is this legal? This is just so dirty, dude. Oh. Now, the question is, okay, see, I'm already liking this quite a lot from Wham at this stage. 4 Springalds out is a decent number. I think that might be enough to one-shot the Great Bombard. As long as it doesn't have siege works, I think it should be enough. He needs to pull villagers, though. Right now, I really want to see villagers. The men-at-arms are doing a great job. Big shot coming out from the bombard. Now, remember, the bombard could also get that first advantage, or that first shot advantage against these Springalds. It does have the range advantage, so you want to be very careful with these Springalds. And now Lanchknecht's going to be joining the party. We'll have a look and see whether the response from the bombards is sufficient, and they die. A single shot from the bombard kills both of the Lanchknechts. Mangoes. Not going to find it. You can feel the intensity of this game right now. We are on the edge. Does he go for siege works here? Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3. Expect to see it any second. Doesn't look like it. Let's bring that UI back in, Drongo. Let's take a look and see where we've gone from the baseline. It looks like it's going to be a switch into stables, respecting that Lanchknecht, knowing that, you know what, maybe it might be a good idea to get a couple of horsemen or 2 out on the field just to help out with it. But towards that top side, it looks like no walls coming up from Corvinus mean that the wood lines will be potentially threatened here. Mangoes will find a couple of shots off, and villagers have to go for a bit of a run. Longbows, still veteran, obviously. Wham, 170. How is Wham at 175 pop? Is it just me, or is Byzantine 2TC totally the way to go? Dude, that is he 2TC, or is he, like, is there more? Dude, look at the base building from Wham. Yo, Byzantines are kind of wild as well. I know where the Ottomans are the rage. Okay. I know the Ottomans are the rage of the day, but Byzantines seem kind of wild. And, like, you've got some good Springald numbers here. This is all we really need. All right, men-at-arms starting to get a bit bulky. Yet to see that elite army tactics come through. He will slowly chase these units away. You can see the Springalds. I think have they got the greased axles? No, they don't. About to have it in 3 seconds. Once these guys have got their greased axles out, he'll probably even be able to start kiting the men-at-arms with the Springalds. But he's been very careful with them, and I want to compliment Wham on that. He's been very, very careful with his control of these Springalds. He's not gone in for any kisses or anything like that, which is always nice. And then towards the top side, Sapai should be able to clean this up. If it's got friends that are rallying. But you can, one thing to notice though is that the men-at-arm number doesn't really seem to be built. Big Mango shot, boy! Boy, oh boy. Springald's moving in, looking for an angle. We'll find it into the mangoes. It's going to be the first one that goes down. Second one still alive on the back. Mangonel shot comes out, and the Great Bombard's looking for it. He's looming. He wants it so bad, and you can see now those Sipahi joining the men-at-arms on the front, and there's quite a fair few of them. We're going to head into the cinematic mode, as this is not your average fight, ladies and gentlemen. The Sipahi are now online, and they're going to get great value here, as there's not a lot of Lamentinai here. There's no Varangian guards on the field, and definitely no Lanch connects. They're going to get wonderful value in this fight. Coming up the rear is going to be the Great Bombard, but be careful because we have got Cataphracts on the field. Great Bombard not going to be able to one-shot that, and you can see the Springald's going to move up because he's realized, hold on, there's trouble in paradise right now. There's nothing to protect the Great Bombards. They're going to have to turn around and protect themselves. One shot, two shots of Great Bombards, but the Springalds, they still survive. He survived 6 Springald shots, dude. Oh god, this unit is absolute insane, dude. This unit is so crazy, dude. He doesn't even have villagers repairing or janissaries. Like, he's lost everything. But the man still has his bombard. 3 health that finally makes its way back. Whew. Okay, so if I had to point to what was instrumental this game, I would say for Wham, it is almost certainly, you would think the Springalds, but I don't think that's the truth. What I think is the truth is the very quick transition into crossbows and the constant trades. He has had very good trades throughout this game. We can see right here, 6 to 10. That's the difference. For every 6 units that Wham has lost, or 600 resources that he's lost, he's taken out 1,000 of his opponent. So that's important to consider, that the trades have been in his favor. Now, granted, some of those were bombards. And granted, some of those bombards were killed by the Springals. Sorry, just a little bit of a weird... I don't know, I get a weird thing sometimes where I think I need a drink. Maybe I haven't breathed. I haven't breathed. What's the past tense of breathe? It's got to be breathed, right? It feels like so weird to say, I haven't breathed in a while. I haven't breathed my breath in a while. Oh no, don't breathe your breath right now. Now is not the time, Corvinus. Put that back in. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Palatine School coming in. Sipahi, you've been upgraded to elite. But look at the little bit of the... Oh my god, it's beautiful. The mangonels, nowhere to be seen. It doesn't even matter as the Great Bombard comes out. One more hit and he goes down. Indeed he does. Sipahi numbers looking pretty good. But Lamentinai have finally been added in. The Great Bombard got cleaned up in the blink of an eye, and Wham parked himself in a perfect position. He didn't have to worry about the party of the Bombards. They got taken out quickly, and now the Sipahi absolutely getting annihilated by this combination coming out from Wham. Can we talk about that Byzantine economy back here? Have a look in the base of Wham right now. He is pumping non-stop. 116 villages. We're only 22 minutes into this game, and he is absolutely booming his heart out. Palatine School coming in, and you know what that means. That means another extra 30% onto that economy. It is going to be absolutely massive. Wait, did that just say that the Palatine School also gets affected by the cistern? Ain't no way. How does that even work? Does it increase the chance when it's in the influence? Nah, it surely wouldn't. They would disclose that. I think that's got to be a bug. There's no 2 ways. Upgrade starting to come through. It looks like Cataphract armor, extra movement speed for the Lamentinai. A little bit of what is that? A little bit of damage, I think, for the Varangian guard. The Varangian guard get attack speed, so I guess technically it's damage. Sipahi looking to chase away the Cataphract. The Imperial Age now comes through. And you can feel right now the pressure that Corvinus is under. But I just want to remind you, Corvinus has won from this position before. We have seen, I remember watching that game on Altai, where he won from this position. It's definitely possible that it happens. The main thing you want to be going after are the exact things that Wham's going after. Number 1 is the blacksmith. Reduce that speed down of these military schools first. And then after that, you want to just go down and focus these military schools one by one. That's really key. Switch it over to income. 24 minutes into this game. Get a bit of an idea on where these guys are at. Looks like about 1,700 for Corvinus compared to his opponent, who is absolutely blowing him out of the water, as you would expect. And that's going to be it. That is going to be good game right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is it. That is all, folks. We're wrapping it up. I'll leave a link in the description of where you can watch these 2 live. But I guess that answers the question of, is the Ottoman civilization uncontested in this patch? Well, at the moment, it seems like the Byzantine might be up there too.